Good evening, YouTubers. So, still in this series of installing software from source, and we're at part 3. We are, and I suggested earlier in part 2 that we would do CDR Tools. Now, why would I want to do CDR Tools? A couple of things. Okay, I'm on a typical Ubuntu based distribution. It's Ubuntu Mate, based on the review that I did just a little while ago. I suggest you go and take a look at that as well. Nice look at this distribution. But what we'll do is we'll go which CDR tools. Okay, so that's not going to be it. It's going to be which CDRecord, rather, because CDRecord is part of the CDR Tools suite of CD, DVD and Blu-ray related programs. And you'll see it seems nothing suspicious there. /user/bin/CDRecord seems fine. What I then suggest to you though is you do the following: ls-l $ which CDRecord, which says that I'm going to ls-l the return, the standard out of which CDRecord, and it's actually Wodim. Okay, so I'm not here to try and promote something, but we're kind of getting a little bit deceived here. Why the hell is it pointing to Wodim? Okay, so long story short, okay, if I type in CDR Tools into there, I probably should have clicked on the Wikipedia one. I should probably go into this as well. Okay, I know this isn't exactly about compiling things from source, but it's important to know where your programs are coming from. So, okay, so you can read through here about Debian forking CDR Tools in 2004. Now, from what I've been able to tell, there are really only two really good applications for writing CDs and DVDs on Unix-like systems. One is CDR Tools, which features CDRecord, and the other one is XorISO. You can also go to Wikipedia and find out there's a license compatibility controversy. So basically, the people from Debian and surrounding distros accused Jörg Schilling of releasing his version of CDR Tools under incompatible licenses. He claims differently. He claims that the build system, and which is licensed under, I think it's CDDL and GPL, and the program, the actual program set CDR Tools are written under GPL. But look, there's more to it than that. I suggest you actually take a look at this rather than rely on the very abstract outline that I've given there. There's a heap of information out there on this, along with the author's original site. But adding to this, which is really, really disturbing, I find anyway, disturbing about Linux distributions, especially things that move fairly quickly, like optical recording technologies and stuff like that. If I go Wodim, it'll probably come up with CDRkit. It does. That's great. But look, unmaintained, last stable release 5 years ago. And if I go aptitude show, hopefully I've installed aptitude, I'm not sure. Aptitude show CDRkit. Fine. Apt cache, I'm hoping. Bah. Rubbish. So sudo apt install aptitude, for lack of knowing any other way of doing it. Just give me a tick. So someone actually pointed out, I think it was what's his name, Snake, Elder Snake, pointed out that I don't edit my videos very much. He's quite right there. I try and reduce editing to a minimum, because I like you guys to see. That's one, it's a real hassle to edit out this stuff, and secondly, I don't think it produces an authentic product to you guys to just sort of, go editing things out and stuff like that. So one, it's a hassle. Two, I don't think it brings an authentic product. Anyway, so aptitude show CDRkit. Let's have a look and see what it has to say. That's very strange. Maybe it installs it as a separate application. Now that makes me curious. Apt show. I know that I did apt cache before. Yeah, I could have done it that way. Fine, whatever. So let's have a look. Original maintainer. So you know they are actually noting that it was originally by him, and we are correct. Look, there it is. Finally, I found it. Version 1.1.11. So, yeah. If I go CDR Tools version, I hope that CDR. I got to get out of this habit. CDRecord version, and we can see that it's not the original. Fortunately, Jörg Schilling still, and I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, is still producing his original version of CDR Tools, and that's what I'm presenting to you today. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so what I've done to save a little bit of time, and I'll try not to set these things up too much, like I say to you guys, what you should do is you set yourself up a nice source external. This is all, after all of this is about compiling from source, is you should set up a source external directory or a source directory in your home directory structure. And when you know you've got to download dependencies and stuff like that, you might remember links. When I did links, I put all the dependencies that I was going to grab from outside and put them into there so I could easily wget them, and that's exactly what I'm going to do now with CDR Tools. I found the relevant location for it. I'll just cat that for you now. We'll clear the screen and then a cat. Oh, by the way, again, just to remind you, little shortcuts like that to clear the screen like that, even on a TTY, you just press Control L and it'll clear it. Okay, it might not necessarily get rid of the scroll back buffer. That's a different story. In fact, while we're on to that topic, this is how you get rid of, depending if it's a VT100 compliant terminal, you can do this, and what you do is you put the escape character for clear, the VT100 clear screen one, and look at that. You see that, how it's cleared? It's actually cleared the buffer. Whereas if I go if I go ls/user/bin, get all that, and if I go Control L, it'll clear it, but it won't actually clear the scroll back buffer. Just a little bit of a tip for you guys anyway while we're at it. There's a freebie. I won't charge you for it. So anyway, I'll cat CDR Tools like that, and you can see I've got the SourceForge address. Now what I did was when you go to SourceForge, interestingly enough, let's find CDR Tools on SourceForge. Here we go. Hopefully we can find it again, because I did do a bit of hunting around for this. Hopefully I just go to SourceForge. How about I do that instead? SourceForge.net. Okay. And CDR Tools. Hopefully find it. Yeah, CityRecord, I guess, will be it, hopefully. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to show you the files. Go View Files, and what you'll see is if I go in here, which is the file I'm looking for, and I go here, this direct link is actually nothing of the sort. If I try and wget that, oh, that's crap. It didn't even give me what I was looking for in the first place. Copy one location, and I'll actually, because I'm used to terminals that don't have the copy paste function, and it will grab it, don't get me wrong, but it's incorrectly named. And this is a little bit of a, I suppose you could call it a glitch, because let me show you something of this question mark, and it has all this stuff at the end, and it seems to not like it. We'll stop there, okay, and we'll run download. Problem with my keyboard is it's actually doesn't have independent page up, page down, left, right, and whatever. keys, and so I need to do things myself. I need to actually press the numlock and unnumlock. Okay, so let's go wget -c, which means continue on fail. Okay, continue on timeout. And then we're going to do input CDR tools like that. Okay, that's actually going to download the file correctly. I'm going to actually show you in an upcoming video. What we're going to do is we're going to grab a whole bunch of these links from SourceForge, and we're going to clean them up with sed, all these links. I'm going to show you how to do that in an upcoming video. I think that sed is one of those tools again that's not used enough. Hey, I could use it more, along with orc, legendary tools that we should all try to use, and there really aren't too many you know, GUI desktops that GUI replacements that do the job. So okay, same rule as always. Unfortunately with this one it doesn't actually come with many dependencies at all, so it's pretty self-contained. Okay, so go into work. Now we've got to have a look at this CDR. Okay, sorry. Right, we'll actually do that. Right, so based on our previous lessons, I guess you could say the right thing to do looking at this is to type configure, so /configure to launch the script. Okay, but you'd be wrong. That's right, you heard it right, you'd be wrong, and I'll show you why. And these are the sorts of things that will get you when you come and download different things and different pieces of source code and run them. Look at this. Configure is no longer used. Well, I'll tell that to the other projects that use it. So, but nonetheless, I have heard from a developer friend that make does have some of its own issues as well. Configure and make have some issues, so I'm not going to articulate on those at the moment, but Schilling, Mr. Jörg Schilling, that's not his proper name, of course. It is, what was it? Oh, we can just do this again. We can go CDR apt show Wodim and Jörg Schilling, wherever it is. That's the original man. That's actually a different Jörg. That's the guy who actually works for Debian, but yeah, where is it? It's this. That's right, Jörg Schilling. So Jörg Schilling has invented his own version of make called smake. So we better go and look for smake. So I don't think I have that. I don't have smake installed. Okay, so fine. So now we're going to have to go and do smake, because he's saying the preferred program is smake. It does say that you could use GNU make, but for the purposes of this I'm going to show you how to jump through hoops. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, we're going to actually rf smake like that. Oh, sudo. That just means do the previous. Okay, and what have we got? We got smake, so we're going to rm, because same story, and I'm not going to cheat. wget c input, and I've got the, actually I should tell you the link, cat smake, like that. Same thing, you got to go to SourceForge and clean up the link and all that sort of stuff. So I could have put this in actually with CDR Tools, but it actually is a build system, so I kept it as a separate entry. Take that as you will. So let's do with this. wget -c-i smake. So let's get that. That's going to be a really small download, really, not much to it. Okay, and we will tar xbvf smake and do that into work. work smake. Okay, so likewise, let's go configure. You're thinking, yes, I am naive. So what are we going to do? Unfortunately, guys, we run into a recursive dependency. Okay, so technically there's a technical dependency of CDRecord to use smake, but smake has its own dependency on itself. Amusing. Well, not really amusing. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a little bit of the following. Okay, we're actually going to use gmake. So now there are a couple of things to be wary of with this particular program. So they actually give you an install, and I recommend you read this. Okay, so less install. Don't have to vim it or anything like that, just use less. You can scroll up, scroll down, do what you want, and we're going to say ins. Now I know this from before because I've actually done it before, but you see this in space is really important, because if you don't do that, it'll install under /opt/chili /bin /whatever under /opt/chili. So I'm not going to go ahead and take us through the process of that, but you must do it this way. Okay, otherwise it just won't work. Okay, so you're going to choose one or the other. Anyway, we're going to use make, our GNU make. So we're going to go sudo, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here. So we're going to go sudo su, stay in the same directory, sudo su, and we're going to go, well, not gmake, we'll just use make. We can use gmake if we want to. Oh, maybe we can't. Which gmake? Doesn't exist, fine, whatever. I'll do it again. Make inspace equals /user/local. Again, if you did want to install under /opt/chili, that's fine, but you're going to have to point your local users towards that primary directory using the path technique that I've shown you before for pointing to /user/local. Okay, and we're going to go install. If you try any other little tricks like using desk directory or any of that sort of stuff, it's not going to work. It's going to nerf out on you. So just give that a chance to do its thing. This video is going to be a little bit long, even though there's not much to it in terms of dependencies or anything like that. It's more about finding out the little gotchas and seeing how we can work around them. And since the author has been so kind as to write their own build system for this, I think we might as well use it. After all, I've tried it and it works. Both work. I mean, make works and smake works. So I'll just give that a chance. It seems to be doing a lot. It says that things are broken, and I don't know how much, look at this. I don't know how much to take of that, because it basically is saying that ext2 file system header is not readable or not usable at all. So therefore, any of the permissions flags, I think, or the file system flags are not going to be usable. But anyway, it's installed it in the correct directory, which is just wonderful. Okay, so let's get out of that and let's go into CDR Tools, which is what we really came here. Oh, not that. CDR. Nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. No point typing out things. Oh, it should be helping if I be rude, hey? Maybe I'm a bit crackers tonight. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually change this to smake. Okay. Again, just remembering that the only reason why I can see this is because /user/local is in my path. The earlier you have it in the path, the earlier items in your path are actually preferred over the later ones. So if you've got two versions of the same thing or same name of thing, then yeah, the earlier one that's presented in path will be the one that's used. And you'll see that in a minute when I've got CDRecord. You saw it before when I used which CDRecord. You're going to see that in just a moment. And I've got myself a nice blank disk in here, so we might as well try writing an ISO. I might as well bring up the server while I'm at it so I can find an ISO. I don't know if I've got any spare on my... maybe I've got a small image that I can write on the server. And that brings me up to another point. I'm going to have to show you guys how to use AutoFS, so you can mount a server, so you can mount a partition that's on your server using exports, you know, so that you can see what's on that server, write to that server or whatever. So okay, so we've now installed CDR Tools, and actually I think you're meant to use CDR Tools, CDRecord as root. I know it's a little bit of an anomaly, but I believe that is what you're meant to do. My server is playing silly buggers with us at the moment. It's taken a couple of hits there to try and get it to start. Old BIOS bug it's got with it. Anyway, sudo su. Actually, let's first of all, which CDRecord is probably going to be pointing to the old. No, that's great. It's pointing to the correct one. That's because I've pointed root previously to /user/local. Okay, and we're going to notice something a little bit different as well. If I go CDRecord version, look at this. It's doing the correct thing, and written by the CD recording master himself. So what I've got to do, I've got is a blank DVD, yes, a blank DVD. It's a rewritable, and I'm going to find some random file that I can write to it just to show you how this guy works now that we've installed it. So cd/auto c/mount media. I've got a hard drive that's connected on the server. If this takes too long, I'll probably just bypass and find something else to write to the drive. But while we're at it, and give that a chance to do its good work, I'll just show you something about CDRecord, and I'll do the sudo su again. Great, CDRecord, and then I'll do scan bus. It's one of those rare applications where Jörg says that you should run it as root. I'm pretty sure he says run it as root. Have a look. Ah, okay. It doesn't, but on other systems it might seem that it needs. Okay. Yeah, fine. So I don't need to run it as root. That's cool. So we'll actually get out of root for that in a minute. But anyway, so here are all my files, my beautiful files in here, and we'll get out of root and go. I keep a directory on my server. I'm kind of like trying to keep organized about these things, and what we'll do is we'll do a bit of an ls-l. In fact, we might even sort by size. ISO. Great. And is there a sort? Again, this is all the sort of stuff that you guys need to learn, and I need to learn. Sometimes I forget the size. Let's have a look. Sort by file size. Great. So right, so the smallest one that I have here is the refined CD, which I use for booting EFI partition or EFI applications, I guess you could call them. EFI applications being an operating system like the Linux kernel that's got EFI capability, you can do that as well. So let's just use CDRecord to prove the point. From CAN bus, actually I'll show you something that's a little bit anomalous. If I use CDRecord and I go find cd.iso and I go dev equals /device/sr0 as is typical, it might it might complain. Oh, I'm using Wodim. Damn you properly. Which CD record? No? Why the heck is it saying that? Well, that's just weird. I shouldn't be using Wodim at all. Well, screw that. That's really, really weird, because is that. So that's kind of really, really weird. I'm going to just try it anyway. CDRecord, and we'll just go refined CD also select device. Okay, now we're using the real one. I'm going to have to just set the path correctly. It just opened up my drive, as you might have heard. And did it complain about it? So in this case, oh, look at this. Opening by dev name is unintentional and not supported. So we're going to cancel that and do it correctly. And the correct way to do it, actually, is to use this number up here. Okay, you can just copy that and paste it in there. Okay, that's the correct SCSI bus number. And now it doesn't complain. It's the preferred way. It prefers to do it this way rather than using the device nodes. And just to show you that it works very beautifully. Just give that a tick. Well, that's kind of interesting. Well, I wonder if that actually burned. It could be again at the root's permission scenario. I'm hoping it's not. Let's have a good look. Again, I'm not going to edit this out. It's important that you see what I see. Let's have a look. It's just querying the drive at the moment. That's what I'm waiting for. And it looks like it looks like it just found solace on there, which is what was previously burnt. You know what? I might even just try this as root. Just give that a chance to do its thing. So it's just loading it up again. You might have heard that. This is what I guess I should have probably blanked the DVD before I. Yeah, we might have to. Oh, and yes, use driver ops burn free. I remember that. I've had this before. I think that's for the buffer. So it actually has a buffer. So it's going to open it up again, and it's going to close it again. Just give that a tick. And now things seem to be moving along. Fail. Illegal request. It could be because it's not blanked. I'm going to see if I can go man CDRecord. Shelley's user commands and blank. Yeah, I'm not. Blank. Okay. Blank equals fast. Okay. CityRecord blank. Oh, I better use the proper one, huh? And then oh, screw it. I should have had another one open. And blank equals fast. Dev equals 1 0 0 just to be consistent. Let's blank that thing. Let's blank it. Hopefully it works. Otherwise you'd have to just rest assured it does. I don't think I want to make a coaster tonight. For any guys who know what a coaster is a colloquial term for a CD that just is no use to anyone. You can use it to put drinks on it. Just give that a tick. So yeah, if you've got any suggestions for any tutorials or the like, put them in the comments. As I said before, one of the things I'll be looking at soon is the use of sed, the use of awk and AutoFS. As you saw before, when I booted my server up, I was able to access that drive on my server, which is really kind of cool. So well, let's just try that again and start that over. I think sometimes when you haven't got a blank disk, it can play silly buggers on you. If it doesn't work up to this, let's give up, because there's probably something wrong that I'm doing and I'm not going to waste your time investigating it too far. But it should work nicely after this. Yeah, so and AutoFS is really nice because you can do all sorts of mounting with it, not just of remote drives, but if you've got a USB drive that you use frequently and you don't want to use Fuse, you might not use a desktop, so you're not going to use the whole Fuse thing, I guess, to do user space file operations. So it's one way of handling things, and the other is also for, as I say, exports on another drive. I'm just fortunate I've got this server beside me, easy to turn on, easy to turn off. But if it was on the other side of the house and you just left it on and you just want to access the files on it and it was on the network, you could, which is kind of really, really cool. We are actually going to verify this disk in a moment. I better get the details for verifying this disk. So CD, and you got to do it this actually. You actually got to do it this way to verify a disk has been written correctly. Something that you probably might have seen in one of my previous videos, but I will show you again. So we got to go Control L, and we'll go find. Am I doing the CD? I think I'm doing the CD, yes I am. So, and then I can grab this and go BC, and I can go that divided by 1024 or 4096, which might be more suitable. Yep, and I'll show you how you might use that in a moment. So looks like it's close to finishing. It's a rather small file, and as I am actually writing in 4 times, which isn't the fastest speed out there. I believe you can get 16 times or maybe even more for DVDs, but 4 is still pretty common for read-write. In fact, it probably is the only one. I don't know of any faster read-write ones. Perhaps I think the disk is meant to support it, but clearly my drive isn't behaving that way. So yeah, the takeaway for this is really with programs that you download, some of them are going to be pretty straightforward. Even if they've got dependencies, they're going to be pretty straightforward to install them. Others, like CDRecord, that have a controversial history, might not even have their primary build tool installed, so you're going to have to install the build tool, but then the build tool depends on its own build implementation, and so you just, I guess, at some point have to accept what you're going to use. I could have used gmake, GNU's make, but that might not have been ideal. So what we're going to do is we're going to go dd input file equals /device/sr0. We're going to do block size is going to equal 4096, as I said before, and the count is going to equal this. Okay, I'm going to pipe that to MD5 sum. Oh, and just a dash. Give that a tick. And what we're going to do while we're at it is we're going to go quit. Can we quit? Good. So we've got this guy here, and we go MD5 sum. Find start.iso. And that's wrong. Wrong, I say. Well, that's curious. The reason why I did this anyway, the reason why I put the block size and the count there is to actually make sure that you're doing the correct count, the overall count of it. And the reason why I divided it up with BC is to work out the correct count. So this is really quite strange that it hasn't given me the answer I was looking for. So I'm not sure what might be going on here. I might just try it with we'll just try block size equals 1, and then we'll do the count. It's going to be quite slow. We'll just do the block size equals, because this is not a huge file anyway, we will just do that, and the count will equal 1. And it still says that. I cannot believe. I mean, what this is saying to me, honestly, what this is saying to me is that the burn didn't go well. And I cannot see where I'm going wrong here. So I don't think I mean, one thing I could do is let's have a look at something. Actually, I could have gotten something wrong. Disk usage refined. This is what it could be. I could have actually got it completely wrong with that. No, but then you do -B, and you're meant to get that number there, which is the number of bytes. So this is pretty damn curious as to why. I've got no errors or anything like that. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on here. What I can do is I can go now let's have a think about this. Input file equals that. Block size equals that. Count equals 1. and then we'll redirect that to now that's, I think I know what's going on here. I think I do. Okay. Something has just been brought to my attention. I think the thing is not, because it's not mounted, it's not going to actually query it properly. Again, these are the sorts of things you learn by just hacking around with this stuff. I should have been wary of how quickly it was doing, so yeah, I wonder if that's actually, yeah, okay, cool. So Refined is now mounted using Fuser, and we will do what we were meant to do before, and we'll do that. Give that a tick. I should have been very suspicious when it completed that quickly, but I suppose I wasn't, because of how small it was. And I think that matches. Yes, it matches. So, sorry to waste your time a little bit there, but nonetheless, you realise that even with my sort of experience that I have, that things can take time. So, yep, the takeaways from this: don't expect a program to operate as as you would if you haven't done the right things. You need to have mounted this this CD. How can it actually know, or this DVD? How can it know what's on there if I haven't mounted it? It's just a device node after all. Secondly, don't expect your configure and makes to actually work depending on what software you download. It could be quite misleading or elusive. I shouldn't call it misleading, but it can be quite elusive as to how to do things properly. Just remember to read those install guides, and again, it's all about maintaining those dependencies as well. You would have remembered with links we maintain the dependencies and we put them into /user/local. In this case, we also put the build system in /user/local to put that anywhere. And again, remember that not always is make going to comply, or Schilling make, or whatever make you're using is going to comply with things like prefix. It might be completely ignored by the scripts that it uses, or the declarative statements it uses in the files to do with make. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry if it drew out longer than you wanted. As I say, I'll give you really the unadulterated, uncut version. Please, if you like this video, if you thought that it was good, if it serves your purpose, please like, subscribe, refer to your friends, and add comments. Thanks, guys. I'll be bringing you another one next time, and it's going to be i3. That will be a bit more challenging, I think, because i3 is the window manager. Go do your research, go do your homework, have a look. Okay guys, catch you later and have a great one, whatever you're having, as Des Grieger would say. Bye bye.